How's everybody doing tonight? It's good to be back in Park City, our hometown, for 20 years up until about the last 3 years. And, it's great to see some personal friends and hang out with 200 of our other closest strangers. So, welcome you guys. And, hey, was Dr. Shawn outstanding? Thank you so much. Can you guys do me without this, okay? No. You need this. Because I use my hands and this thing's starting to end all over. It's going to get messy. But listen, you guys, I got the task tonight to talk to you about business opportunity attached to this. How many distributors do we have in the room tonight? Wow, a lot of you, okay. And guests, welcome, all right? I'm here to have the hard conversation about network marketing. Those of you that aren't distributors, who's a fan of network marketing? Okay, don't throw the rings off your fingers as you whip your hand up there. But you know what, you guys, let's be honest. That's the kind of stigma attached to this industry, and I get it. Because prior to LifeVantage, I really had no respect for the network marketing industry. And a lot of that came from my own personal ignorance and just not understanding how people made money in this industry. Okay, my background, Janet's background, comes from construction. We've owned and operated our own construction-oriented company for 35 years, and we were doing really quite well when this opportunity came our way. And we knew, like I said, very little about network marketing. But living here in Utah, we knew enough about it not to want to be involved with it, right? And so, but what we were seeing in our career of being in the construction field is that businesses were getting very, very wealthy. And some of you probably know a few of these businesses here locally, like New Skin and USANA, Tanishinoni, Mona V, New Ways. You guys, anybody heard of any of these companies? Billion multinational brands, raised and born right here in Salt Lake, and I was doing their buildings, and I've seen these companies go from obscurity to billion-dollar brands in really short amount of times, okay? And I was seeing them do this with lipsticks and bracelets and candles and oils and all kinds of things, all kinds of products that most people won't buy once in their lifetime, okay? In most cases, their competition is Walmart. I don't care what your product is or what your method of getting it out there is, but if your competition is Walmart, that's a tough, okay? But despite that, people got very wealthy in this industry, people just like us, or so I come to find out. But before that, I didn't know. I thought this took a certain breed of person, somebody who was a salesperson, or somebody who was good at this, or somebody. That was me, right? Is this better? Can you hear me despite this? It does sound pretty good. Okay, enough of that. So anyway, despite that, people got very, very wealthy in network marketing. And so when this came our way, we weren't even really looking for an opportunity, but we got thinking really, really hard where we were in life. Okay, life was good to us. We built our business the old-fashioned way. I started with my own 2 hands in my truck, and I built this up to 85 guys. We were making a lot of money, and we had no time. Okay, we had a great lifestyle and very little time to enjoy it. But the bigger thing that we were really realizing is this world isn't the same place it was 30 years ago, 35 years ago, or even 10 or 20 years ago. Anybody relate to that? Anybody agree with that? Anybody think that's going to go back to the way it was? It's not. Now, that doesn't mean things aren't going to get better. They're just different. And so you either adapt or you die, right? And so we were looking at retirement or the consideration, a word that most people never, ever, ever get to experience. They work until they die because they have to. And our plan that we started 30 years ago wasn't playing out. When we stopped working, we stopped making money. There really wasn't, we weren't going to have the lifestyle that we had today. And so this is what this industry offers is residual income, right? Where you build a body of work, and that body of work continues to pay you for the lifetime of the company, okay? Now this is, and if you get the right combination of things and you go to work, you can make a lot of money in a short amount of time. But when you get the pick of the litter, I guess, when you find Sasquatch, which is what I'm going to show you tonight, and actually show you a sighting, of what that looks like. You have the opportunity to acquire generational wealth. Okay, we're talking about people that were the first in Amway, the first in Avon, the first in Herbalife, Mary Kay. All these companies that have products that don't have a demographic that's every mammal on the planet, a consumption rate of every day for the rest of their lives, and now we have patents and proof. Okay, but 5, 6 years ago, when LifeVantage came to network marketing, we didn't have that stuff. What we had was a what-if story. What if these studies come back that we're hoping to see the results of, and we're hoping to go in the right direction? Because all we knew 6 years ago was that it lowered your oxidative stress, which is a big deal. And it did this without exception, regardless of what you're drinking, what you're smoking or not, how you're taking care of yourself, whether you're on medications, whether you're a couch potato, whether you're an athlete, it worked. What we didn't know, and the medical community around the world didn't know, was how impactful that was on our physiology. Now we have a pretty good idea. Dr. Shawn did a real good job of showing us what that looked like. But 5, 6 years ago, being new in this industry, that was our story. The company hadn't made money. It was in retail to begin with. Okay, we're publicly traded, but it didn't survive in retail. The people running the business then were predominantly scientists, and they couldn't capture the retail world. It was hard to re-educate people. Like I said, the world has shifted. We don't watch our TV for advertisements. We record things and we fast forward through it. We don't have time for that kind of stuff. We rely on social media. We rely on our friends. We rely on people who have experience with what it is that we are looking for to buy. This is what network marketing is. But before then, it was in retail. And because this is a category-graded product, it didn't survive. But the research got started back then, largely because ABC, Primetime, came to us and did a piece, which turned out to be extremely positive. So we didn't have the results of these studies. They take 5, 10, even more years to come to fruition. And we didn't have them. All we knew is that it lowered our oxidative stress, and we had the proof of that. And everybody in the world's going to take this, every mammal on the planet. And we're first, which is great if it works. And if it doesn't, you get to be the first to find out that it doesn't, right? But anyway, this is what we went around telling people, is we've got this product. The whole world's going to be on it. Look how people got wealthy on lipsticks, okay? And magnetic bracelets and so on and so forth. What happens, like Shawn said, when the world understands what we've been thinking and how to take care of ourselves, it doesn't hold up anymore. What happens when that exposure is created to the world, and now they know, and we're the only game in town? Okay, what if? Well, this was 5, 6 years ago. Our first year we did $11 million. Long story short, our 5th fiscal year that we closed out in June, we're now up to about $214 million. We now have proof. We have proof that the company makes money. We have proof that people make money. But here's what happens, you guys, in the network marketing industry. And what I come to find out is this happens over and over and over when the right things come together. When the right team, the right product, the right method is put together and training, these companies go through a growth cycle that they've all shared. All of them. All these name brands that you've heard of go through a growth cycle that looks something like this. You all see that back there? If you can't see it, I can talk louder. Okay, so what happens is they start their journey with their business, and they usually will spend a little more money than they make until they get to a point in sales called critical mass. Okay, critical mass is measured by what distributors are generating in sales. Now, up to date, our product has been so powerful. People love our product. $215 million in annual revenue. 80% of that, I'll write that bigger, or I'll say it louder. 80% of that is coming from preferred customers, people who are not distributors. Out of that $250 million, people love our product. When it can be made sense to the consumer, like Dr. Talbott did tonight, how can you just have the responsibility and not take care of yourself as easily as swallowing a pill? People love our product and they stay on our product. 20%, of course, is coming from distributors. This is what critical mass is measured by. This is what measures the the growth of the company is what's being generated by distributors. And what critical mass symbolizes is branding. The company has gone through the trenches. It's gotten to a point in its growth cycle where there's some familiarity now. People have heard about you. People have had some experience with the product. You're not the first to tell somebody about it, and you're entering the branding phase because there's a voice out there teaching people what it is. Now, what happens next when you hit critical mass and you get into the branding phase? What happens next is the opportunity goes viral. It just blows up. It goes into a growth phase called momentum. Okay, where 80% of the company is going to be, or of that opportunity, is going to be captured by really a handful of distributors. So here's the good news. When people say that only the people at the top make it in network marketing, make money, guess who you are? And I'll get to that a little bit more. But it's the first 200,000 distributors that will capture 80% of that opportunity for that opportunity's lifetime. But it's usually a small body that does that. Once your demographic is captured and that company stabilizes and we all know who they are and they become a big international brand, that growth rate slows down quite a bit. Your growth rate now is about 2 to 7%. Now, when you're a big international billion-dollar plus company, at 2 to 7% growth is still pretty big. But when you're a distributor, somebody trying to carve out your piece of the pie, that can be kind of a miserable experience. That's not to say you can't go to these other opportunities and make money. You could. They have products. They have an opportunity. I mean, this is network marketing, right? They all kind of function the same way. But to me, I think the important thing is to understand the fundamental basics of the industry so you can differentiate why LifeVantage and why these products equate into such a powerful, never seen before opportunity. And I know that sounds really cliche, but when you just add the evidence together, it really starts shaking out. So, and like I said, we saw this from the outside looking in for all these companies. For example, Nu Skin, that's a big one. Let's see, 1984 is when they started business. They did their little startup office down in Provo. Okay, they went along, they went through their trenches, getting their exposure out there. They started building, people started hearing about them. We started a 9-story high-rise for them, 1989. Okay, now they were the tenants of that high-rise, meaning they were renters. Okay, the first 3 levels. Now what happened to them in 1989 is they hit critical mass. 5 million a month is what that number is that measures critical mass. They hit critical mass by 1991. They went from 5 million a month to 52 million a month in distributor sales. They went into full-blown momentum in 2 years because that branding was there. And this has happened over and over and over. Okay? So if you were to take LifeVantage and overlay it on top of this graph right here, LifeVantage started network marketing 2009, okay, about 5 years ago. Here we are in 2014. What's going on today with LifeVantage 2014? Well, if you do the math on this, 215 million at 20%, we're doing around 3.5 million, and this was 6 months ago. Now we'll get into that a little bit more, largely because of Dr. Talbott's new product that we just introduced. Still, here we are 5 years later at 3.5 million. Okay, we are entering critical mass. There are some other signs showing up too. Anybody heard of the Real Salt Lake? Little soccer team we got down in the valley? Well, it turns out the whole world knows who they are too. And with the leadership that we now have in this company, because like I said, the guys that were running the company 10 years ago were predominantly scientists. We have financial people at the helm here now. Doug Robinson comes from the world of finance. He's making the kind of decisions that it takes to build a billion-dollar company that's in this for the long haul. Not just to make a lot of money fast and then bounce, but to build a legacy. And when you attach yourself to something building a legacy, That opportunity is now open to all of us to share in that ride. But Doug is pretty much single-handedly responsible for going in and talking to Real and saying, hey, we want to be the company that is your jersey sponsors. We're going to put our name on your jersey and your stadium and be your support for 10 years, a $30 million deal. Okay, companies that are in this for the short haul don't do 10-year, $30 million deals. And since then, we've been on Pepsi cans and we've been on Wonder Bread. We've had international exposure. People are beginning to hear who Life and we've gone to who? Life who? To, oh, you're those guys. You're those guys. Okay, now keep in mind too that the first 5 years we had science that was really hard to discuss. It was hard for people to sample our product and to feel it right away because like Dr. Talbott said, you don't feel prevention all the time. You don't feel what's going on inside. And so we live in a society of gratification or instant gratification. We want to feel things right now. And you know, people sometimes weren't relating to the science and the power behind these products, and it was a challenge. But despite that, we built our first $250,000. Now we've moved from this phase of what if this works? We moved over here to where you're going to miss this, okay? Because we've grown to a point where we're now in 7 countries. We have 80,000 distributors in the world right now. So that opportunity is wide open. But the company said, hey, we're leaving a lot on the table. We're a very sciencey company. We need to appeal to a demographic out there called the millennials, right? Because they happen to be the largest consumer group in the United States. They'll make up 75% of the workforce in this country within the next 5 years. These are the people that have seen mom and dad's dream not work out. Okay, they've seen where they spend more. People spend more. Education is important. It's exceedingly important. So it forms and shapes our society. But trying to make money with a degree these days has become a challenge. People are spending more on education to get jobs that are paying less. Okay? And this is what the millennials are seeing. They're seeing grandma and grandpa not retiring. They want a better world. Okay? And so what we've done to invite them in is we came up with our vigor drinks, right? Energy drinks, which we just launched in October. This is a $100 billion industry, the energy drink industry. Okay? And it appeals to a consumer demographic out there that is huge and on fire and full of life to capture that American dreamer, to build the freedom and have the money to enjoy life that our system just doesn't seem to provide anymore. So our first 5 years, we got from here to here with science that was difficult to talk about. We just launched an energy drink poised on critical mass to a public out there of the millennials. We expect the next $250,000,000 within the next 12 to 18 months. Okay, we are entering that rapid growth phase. This is why people capture wealth in this industry. Like I said, you can go to other companies where they're stabilized and make money if you're good. If you're good at this, if you are the salesman, if you have a huge circle of influence and you know what you're doing and you have the time to do it, you can make money. Sure you could. Down here is where the playing field is level. It takes all those things out of the equation. Now we're just the informers. Okay, we're getting the word out to the world. What we're doing at this point is assembling the distribution body that will support this product globally. And those global consumers are going to feed these guys. And that's where we are. For example, as far as the skill set required, Microsoft is a good example. 30 years ago, you could have thrown $1,000 on Microsoft and had no skill set. You would have gone into a coma, under the bridge. 30 years later, you would have been a millionaire. Could you make $1 million off 1,000 with Microsoft today? No? Maybe? The truth is that you could. But the playing field has changed now. Okay, you could if you were good at trading stocks, if you knew what you were doing and you had the time to pay attention to it and you know, buy low, sell high, all those things, and you really muscled your way through it, you could do it. but it's a lot more work. Here, the playing field is wide open. This is the sweet spot of network marketing. This is what people look for that have spent their entire career in this industry, trying to find something that they heard about. Something they heard about that exists out there that some people capture, but most people don't. It's like looking for Sasquatch. And here's where we are. A lot of experienced network marketers will take a ride that kind of looks like this, and it just stays there. Being first is good, and not everybody has what it takes to make it. Many, many of them have been up here. So, the door is wide open, you guys. The products are phenomenal. You know, as far as on the product end, I would take them regardless, whether as a distributor or not. But for me, you know, it's about financial freedom. And it's not all about just stuffing our pockets full of money. You know, it's about leaving this place better than we left it. You know, and taking some people with us that want to move to higher ground. And that's what we're doing. And so if that appeals to you, I'm going to turn a little time over to Janet. So I showed you why people make money. I'm going to have Janet talk a little bit on how and how we get paid. Okay?
It's difficult to two great guys, Dr. Talbott and Dave. So, and I know it's getting late, so I don't want to keep everybody. I normally would take you straight through the comp plan, but what I would encourage you to do is get with the person that invited you and have them go over that compensation plan. We have an earning claim statement that is accurate. I mean, we're a publicly traded company, so these are accurate statements, and it shows what people are making at each rank from Pro 1 through Pro 10. In this industry, you're paid by rank. Pro 1 being the new beginner, and Pro 10 being the Master Pro 10. So take a look at that and have them look over that with you. But most importantly, what I want you to understand is that this is a leadership development company. Dave and I got involved. It was actually here in Park City, February of '09, when the two top leaders in the company, Marcel Niederhauser and Tyler Daniels, came to our house, 11 o'clock at night. I did not understand why they wanted to come to our house and visit us at that hour. Excuse me. But they did, and they were telling us about a little yellow pill, and they had actually not even made the decision to join LifeVantage yet. They had just flown in from San Diego and met with them, and we thought they were a little crazy. Good friends of ours, we knew they had made a lot of money, but we thought they were a little crazy. And, you know, it was a great big what-if story, and we had a really big fear of loss once we started to really understand the industry, and once we got a glimpse of what Protandim's potential was going to be. And so it was a really big what-if. We didn't want to be in Lake Powell with Marcel and Tyler 5 years later and them have the bigger boat saying, you should have listened. but honestly, it's been the most amazing ride to be a part of this company, the evolution of, you know, being the what-if story to now where it is. So that was LifeVantage 1.0. And now, I mean, all I can tell you guys, if you're a guest, you want to hang on to whoever has invited you here because we're very close to the two top distributors in the company. They enrolled us. We're very good friends. They don't tell us all the details at all because of their non-disclosure statements that they signed, but I can tell you they have told us to hang on for a very, very awesome ride with LifeVantage 2.0. So you're going to want to be in San Antonio. We have a lot of incredible things in place to support a distributor, from, you know, the brand new, never done this before, to the very experienced. Our system is going to help and support everybody. So we have monthly trainings and we have quarterly trainings. And our next event is in San Antonio, Texas at the end of January. You're going to want to be there. You're going to bring as many of your team members with you. You're going to want to become a distributor if you're a guest right now. And, you know, join us for LifeVantage 2.0 because we are just getting started. And, you know, Dave and I are just really excited to be a part of this. It's so exciting to look back at 2009 where Sharon Sherman, who's here with us, it was her and I, two crazy women running around Park City trying to tell people what an awesome new thing we had. And really, not a lot of people wanted to listen. Well, I guess that means it's time to go home. But anyway, so here we are with this many people in the room in small Park City, and I think that's just awesome. So give it the person that invited you, and everybody, if you're a distributor, you've got to be in San Antonio to see what LifeVantage 2.0 is all about. And thank you, Dr. Talbott, for your incredible presentation, and Karen Walterson, who's an awesome, incredible leader in our group. and Denise Chesney and Nate Washington for putting this event together. Okay, everybody drive safe and have a great night.